Today, we are digging into something that probably drives you just a little bit crazy. Why is it sometimes so ridiculously hard to get anything done at work? We're going to look at how to design organizations that actually work, ones that are built for flow, not friction.
So, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a brilliant idea, but then you thought about the nightmare of getting all the approvals, syncing up with 5 different teams, and it just felt so exhausting that it was actually easier to do nothing at all?
If you're nodding your head right now, then you have felt what this framework calls a partnership standstill. It finally puts a name to that feeling of pure frustration. It's that tipping point where the cost of talking about the work becomes way more expensive than just doing the work. And that right there is a massive red flag that your organization is designed for roadblocks, not progress.
Okay, so how do we fix this mess? Well, the big idea here is that the problem isn't the people. It's usually the entire design philosophy behind the company. The goal is to make a huge shift, moving away from designing for control and towards designing for flow.
You know the old way. It's what most of us are used to. It is completely obsessed with the org chart. Who reports to whom, who owns what. It is all about control. The new way just flips that whole idea on its head. It basically says, forget the org chart for a second and asks a much, much better question. How does value actually get from an idea to a happy customer? The focus shifts from the hierarchy to the work itself.
Siva Subramaniam, who came up with this framework, just nails it with this quote. He says, starting with the org chart is fundamentally flawed from the get-go. And the analogy is perfect. It's like trying to understand city traffic by only looking at a map of the parking garages. You're completely missing the most important part, the actual movement, the flow.
So, if the org chart is the wrong tool, what's the right one? It's something called a value map. And the way you create it is actually pretty simple. You just follow the decision. You pick a real-world problem, like launching a new feature or fixing a critical bug, and you literally trace every single decision, every handoff, every step it takes to get it done. The map that comes out of that process shows you how work really flows, not how the org chart says it should flow.
Now, once you have that value map, it becomes this amazing diagnostic tool, because you can suddenly see all the hidden costs in your organization's design. And this framework calls them the 3 hidden taxes. This is the price you're paying for all that inefficiency.
This is such a simple but powerful concept. No organizational structure is free. Every single one, no matter how you design it, comes with a tax. It taxes your team's time, their energy, their speed. So the goal isn't to get rid of taxes completely. That's impossible. The goal is to choose a structure that has the lowest possible tax for the work you're trying to do.
First up, we have the coordination tax. This is the one we all feel deep in our bones. It's the sheer, exhausting effort of just keeping everyone on the same page. It's the price of endless status updates and alignment meetings, and it gets so much worse when teams are split across different time zones. You get these painful thread delays where one person is just stuck waiting for someone else to wake up. It just burns time and morale.
Then you've got the decision tax. Think of this as the bureaucracy tax. It's the price you pay when a simple idea has to get signed off by 3 different managers and 2 committees. When nobody has clear authority, every single initiative has to jump through all these unnecessary hoops, and it just grinds everything to a halt.
And finally, there's the information tax. This is the cost of distance, the distance between your teams and your customers, your market, your data. When critical insights are locked away in some spreadsheet on someone's desktop, your teams are basically flying blind. They're working with old, irrelevant information, and that's how you kill innovation.
This example just makes it all so painfully real. Let's say your company decides to create a new tech team in a country that's 12 hours away, probably to save some money on salaries. Well, guess what? All 3 taxes just went through the roof. Your coordination tax skyrockets because you're trying to sync up across a full day's time difference. Your decision tax goes up because now big decisions are split between 2 continents. And your information tax is huge because that new team is thousands of miles away from any real customer feedback. All of a sudden, those cost savings, they're not looking so great, are they?
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. We've seen the problem, we've identified the hidden taxes. Now for the good part.
How in the world do you lower them? To bring down that painful coordination tax, you've got two great moves. First, you can actually hire people whose whole job is to take on that coordination burden. We're talking about project managers, program managers. They free up your creators to actually create. Or second, you can create these small self-sufficient teams that have every single skill they need to solve a problem. And when the problem's solved, the team disbands.
To slash your decision tax, you have to get really clear about who can make a call. One powerful way is to appoint a single executive sponsor for a big project. They get the final say. Period. No more death by committee. Another great way is to set simple rules. For example, you could have a rule that says if a decision only impacts 2 teams or less, a director can make the call. No need to go any higher. Simple, fast.
And to absolutely crush the information tax, the answer is to democratize your information. That means you invest in teams, like business intelligence, whose job it is to make data easy for everyone to understand. And it means you publish everything. You make it public. Customer feedback, product usage, market trends. You put it all out there where anyone can find it and use it. You just let the information flow freely.
So, all of this, the value map, the taxes, the solutions, it all leads to one final, and maybe the most challenging, principle of all.
This right here is the big one. This is the ultimate takeaway. Most companies look at the leaders they have, and then they design the organization around those people. This framework argues that you have to do the exact opposite. First, you figure out your ideal structure based on how value flows. You map the work, you lower the taxes, you define the roles, and then, only then, do you go find the right leaders to run that system. It's structure first, people second.
So I want you to take this whole framework and think about your own world. Think about the way work flows, or doesn't flow, where you are. What's the biggest hidden cost that's draining your team? Is it the endless coordination? Is it the bureaucratic decision-making? Or is it the lack of good information? Because figuring out which tax is hitting you the hardest, well, that's the first step to finally building an organization that really, truly works.